Welcome. This is the first in a series of videos where we'll be dealing with the macabre facts behind some of the most famous stories in history. Do you know the story of the Pied Piper of Hamelin? It is the famous tale of some children who, hypnotized by the notes of a magic flute, were led to their doom. Well, this story is based on a real and unusual episode from medieval history, the Children's Crusade to the Holy Land. History tells us that, in May of the year 1212, a 12-year-old French shepherd boy named Stephen, who lived near Cloyes, a small village in Orléans, France, presented himself before King Philip Augustus with a letter, which, he claimed, Jesus had given him while he was tending his flock. The purpose of the letter was to preach a children's crusade to rescue the holy places in Jerusalem, across the sea. In his vision, Stephen assured that, according to the biblical account, the same thing would happen to them as happened to the great patriarch Moses when he stood before the Red Sea to take the Hebrew people out of the land of Egypt. Stephen was convinced that the waters of the Mediterranean Sea would open up at his passage, and that, together with the other children who would undertake the crusade with him, they would fulfill their mission. As expected, the king did not believe the story, and surprised by the boy's imagination, the monarch denied him any help and invited him to return home to his chores. It had to be considered, moreover, that the failure of the Fourth Crusade to the Holy Land was still fresh. This was only the beginning of a tragedy that we will see next. One moment. Before we continue, we need your help. Please subscribe to our channel. It costs you nothing and helps us a lot. We need more subscribers to be able to continue with this content, and your support is essential. Hit the cursor and subscribe, like the video, comment and share. This will allow us to continue creating more content for you. Thank you for your support.
What happened next? The shepherd boy Stephen did not lose heart, and due to the unstoppable religious fervor that his initiative aroused, he managed to gather in less than a month about 30,000 children, in addition to some religious and adults. They left Vendôme, a city in central France, heading south in July 1212. After countless penalties, tragically, many children died of thirst, hunger and disease, and a few were lucky enough to return with their parents. Only a third of the children reached Nice, although some sources mention Marseille. After waiting in vain for several long weeks, the divine miracle that would open the waters of the sea in two never happened, so they had no choice but to look for their own means to continue. Then two merchants, named Hugh the Iron and William the Pig, chartered 7 ships to transport the children. They all disappeared. Nothing more was heard from the expedition until 18 years later, when the fate of its passengers became known. In the year 1230, a priest who had participated in the return trip to France from the east told how 2 of the 7 ships had crashed against the rocks during a storm on the island of San Pietro in Sardinia, killing all the occupants. The children on the other 5 ships had a horrible fate. Some were captured by pirates and others taken to Algiers by the merchants, where they were sold as slaves, all of them meeting a fatal end. They were never heard from again. But the case was not isolated. Religious fervor did not only animate the French children. In Germany, a boy named Nicholas ignited the flame of the Children's Crusade, gathering about 7,000 followers. After countless mishaps, less than a third reached Genoa. There, the sea again became an insurmountable obstacle. Discouragement spread and most fortunately returned to their homes after Nicholas visited Pope Innocent III, who ordered them to return home and abandon their foolish campaign. Years later, paradoxically, the children's story emerged. Let's go. The story, the brothers Grimm popularized in the year 1816. A story about a musician who, using his flute, attracted rats, but who, feeling cheated, attracted the children of Hamelin with his magical notes, making them disappear. Curiously, the first graphic representation of the children leaving Hamelin is from the year 1300 and was found in one of the stained glass windows of the Church of the Mercado in Madrid, which disappeared in the 17th century. The curious thing about the stained glass window is that it did not show rats, only a man with a musical instrument followed by children. The stained glass window was destroyed, but a watercolor representing the same scene from the year 1592 is preserved. History shows us curious events that we will explore in other videos on this channel. But now it is your turn to participate and answer these questions in the comments. Had you heard of the Children's Crusade before watching this video? Do you think the Brothers Grimm's inspiration comes from the tragic stories of the medieval Crusades? Or is it simply a magical story typical of the time? What do you think of the blind and radical faith of different religions? If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel, leave your comments, like and share this content with your friends. See you next time.